Put in the Bosendorfer model here.
All right, you ready to sing?
Yeah.
All right. And I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah, that's the button we look for. Woo!
We're only here for God.
Amen.
Thank you. Welcome to Unity Displays a Positive Path for Spiritual Living. My name is Ruth Traylor, and I am serving as your platform assistant today. Please take a moment to silence your phones. Turn them off. Thank you. And to start our morning, please turn to your neighbor and give them a warm greeting. What? Was I too loud? It'll be good enough? Okay. 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 Now I invite you to stand as you are able and join us in our congregational song, It's in Every One of Us.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything, never knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. Every one of us, by and by. Yeah, you know it.
John Denver and the Muppets. Okay. We want to acknowledge those tuning in online today, either now or later. Thank you for joining us. And this week, we are blessed to have our friend, Reverend Dr. Mary Beth Speer, with us. I attend Monday morning metaphysics, and it is a life changer, I'll tell you. Okay. And we'd like this week. Okay, her talk title is For Auld Lang Syne. And we'd like to welcome and thank our musicians, Charlotte Jackson and Derek. And Derek Procell. And now the chaplains, please.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Betsy.
I'm Gail.
We are your chaplains today. So, of course, as many of you know, anyone can come for a prayer about anything. Doesn't matter if it's big, doesn't matter if it's small, doesn't matter if it's for something really hard or maybe something you just want to have somebody else do. It's our privilege and our honor to pray with you every Sunday, and we hold everything in strictest confidence, and we actually Unity is founded on the principle that prayer works. So we have a pretty firm grasp of prayer working. And if you need examples, we've got lots of them. The other thing I'd like to say today is I would like to extend an invitation. At this ending of the year, with a new year just about to start, the first quarter of 2026 is when the chaplain team opens up for training for anybody who's considering to become a chaplain. I would invite you all to just examine your hearts, and if there's something in you that resonates with, oh yeah, prayer, that sounds like something I'd like to learn more about, and maybe I'd like to be of service to the congregation in this way, and to the planet in this way. Well, look for the orientation is going to be in February on Saturday the 21st, and there will be a sign-up sheet eventually. It's not out there yet, but soon enough. And if you have any questions and you'd like any questions answered, see Gail or me or any of the chaplains after the service. We would absolutely love to talk to you about it. So think about that. And now back to business. We'd like to have everybody state together our vision statement, which you can find on the front of the bulletin, or possibly, look at Matt likes magic, right? So together, to involve an evolving consciousness that spiritually transforms the world through an awakening oneness. Okay, I invite you to take a breath and just experience the feeling of our oneness. We are one. We are one. All right, and then just coming back, I invite you now to do our invocation. This was written over 100 years ago by Charles Fillmore, one of the two founders of the Unity movement. So very powerful. And so together, I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge your presence and your power, O blessed Spirit. In your divine wisdom, now erase my human limitations, and from your pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to your perfect law. Amen.
We would like to give a heartfelt welcome to our newcomers. If this is your first time here, please raise your hand and keep it raised. Welcome. Okay. Our usher is going to bring you a welcome packet with information about our church and a contact card that you can take to the bookstore for a free gift. And you'll get a car. Because we want to be known as the church that gives away cars. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you and we're glad you are here. Please join us in Fellowship Hall for coffee, tea, and snacks after the service. We would love to get to know you. Okay, the daily word. Today's daily word is blessings. Blessings come into my life in the most unexpected ways. I am blessed to live each day in the presence of God. As I turn within and quiet my thoughts, I open to God within. Grounded in this presence of wisdom, love, and peace, I feel connected with the divinity of all things. In this awareness, I become newly aware of expressions of God everywhere. I feel blessed to behold nature's beauty, perhaps snow glistening in moonlight, or the sun warming the earth, and birds soaring across the horizon. I find joy in smiling faces. I hear the laughter of friends sharing simple pleasures. I enjoy the beauty of holiday decorations hung with care and appreciate the sacredness they represent. Acts of selfless service show me God's love in action. I am grateful for those blessings and for my infinite unfolding good. And the Bible verse is, "Blessed are those who trust in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord. It's Jeremiah 17th chapter, 7th verse. And now let's prepare for meditation by singing our meditation song, Our Thoughts, Our Prayers.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
So we bring these words into our hearts and into our minds, that every thought is a prayer. Every thought that I have is a prayer. And I invite you to know that I am for yourself, as I know it for myself, that I am this thought, I am this prayer, I am all, because I am God in expression as me. So I know right where I am is the center of the universe. Right where I am, God is. I am. I am that. I am. I am that. I am. And knowing this truth today, I bring myself into conscious awareness with this entire universe, where I am at the center, knowing I am surrounded in a universe that is love and life and light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. All these things that God is, I am. I am this thing called life. I am love in expression. So in this beautiful holiday season, I'm particularly blessed to remind myself, as I feel myself surrounded by love, I know that truly my thoughts are prayers. So what kind of prayers am I bringing forth today? I'm bringing forth prayers of love and peace and joy, because I get to choose how I want to see this universe. I get to choose how I see this thing called life. I know that I am able to move beyond appearances. And because I am not moved by the appearances around me, the conditions, those appearances and conditions move for me. I am creating this expression of life through me, one thought at a time, one prayer at a time. And I let nothing, no thing, outside of myself stand in the way of my serenity and the knowingness that I am whole and complete and literally perfect, just as I am. This is the great gift of this holiday, of knowing that is an expression of God, a unique, individualized expression of God. I am perfect and complete as I am. And what a beautiful idea, knowing this, to end this year on, that we celebrate this year of 2025, taking from it all the experiences, knowledge that I can carry forward into this next year. Blessing all the things that happened this year, whatever they were. Knowing that my life is unfolding perfectly. My life is unfolding perfectly. I bring this consciousness into this new year, 2026. On this day, knowing that I am blessed and that I truly make a difference in this world. What I do, what I think, what I believe truly makes a difference. So my thoughts are prayers, and I send these prayers forward in this day, out throughout this community, throughout this country, throughout this entire planet, and throughout the universe. I send them forward, knowing peace, love, joy, and harmony enfolding us, surrounding us, and expressing as a part of us, starting right here, right now, through and as me. I give you thanks right here and now. I saying thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Divine Love. I release this word knowing it is complete and done and fulfilled already through and as me and each and every one of us. I let it be so by saying, and so it is.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Now give my hand trusty friend, and take my hand in thine. Let's raise a glass to all that's been, for days of old lang syne. Sing it with me. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. This is the last Sunday before our new year, so just revel in that. Did anybody else feel a little pang of nostalgia when you were listening to that song? Doesn't it sort of transport you to places you've been and people you've been with, and it just, kind of tugs at your heartstrings, doesn't it? It's funny words because it's like for times long ago, there's all these different definitions of it. But that whole idea about Auld Lang Syne, I just wanted to bring it in here. Well, good morning. I'm Beth Speer, and I've been here a couple times with y'all. Have been around this church quite a bit, and it's nice to see a lot of older faces. Not that you're old people. The older I get, the older I get, the younger you look. Anyway, so and also new people. I'm so glad you're here. So welcome on this wonderful last day, and it's always an honor to be a visitor in any pulpit, and I do not take it lightly that you give me this 20 minutes of your time, of your life, to perhaps walk away from this experience with something new for yourselves. So I'm really grateful to be here. Well, I began the year, for Christmas, I got a hip replacement, so that was kind of cool. They had trouble He had trouble wrapping it, but other than that, But I have to tell you, I went back and forth. I have this great orthopedic surgeon who's so impeccable, and like every day I get a text from my doctor, and he's like, you should do this now. You should be off of this, and you should be doing this exercise, and all these. And he's just guiding us along. It's kind of like rehab DIY, doing it yourself, but he's got guidance, Anyway, one day he decided, he thought, I probably should keep them kind of upbeat. So he says, okay, so here's something fun to think about. And he said, here's a story that there was an orthopedic surgeon whose patient came to him, a patient named Harry. And Harry said, wow, doctor, he goes, it's really, I'm having some trouble here. He goes, it's like, it hurts when I press here, and it really hurts when I'm pushing here, and it hurts when I push on down here. And he points about 4 different things, and at first the orthopedic surgeon's kind of baffled. So he gives him a full check over, and he gets all done. He goes, Harry, here's the deal. Your body's fine, your finger's broken. Michael was afraid I was going to have to go, ba-dum-bum. So thank you, Dr. Sporer. That was a good one. Anyway, I picked songs specially this morning for us because I don't know about you, but I have found that songs really stay in my mind, and they become like a mantra for me during the week. Does that work for you guys too? And so when I was working with Derek, and I just have to give Derek, I love working with you, Derek. You are so awesome. It's just a pure pleasure, it's just, we just have a little bit of fun, and then we just sit down, and I'm over here and he's over here, and we're on the phone, and when we get done, it's kind of like we're in the middle, right? And so it works out so nicely. But first of all, the song Release. How many of you are aware that that was written by a beautiful woman named Ricky Byers from the Agape Choir? Very large choir in California. It was a New Thought choir. Anyway, she wrote that song quite a while ago. You sing some of her songs here and you probably don't even know it. But the whole idea of release, she actually had some words. Let me see if I can find it. She actually started it out. It's almost like something you could say that was sort of a really letting go and being a testimonial. And the very beginning of that song, before you get into the whole chorus, it says, "There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all myself. And I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know the love of God was at hand." Anybody ever been there? But now I can say that if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. And that's the chorus when you get into it. But there's all of that. In other words, the whole idea of release is from really, really getting that there is a power in release. I don't know about the rest of you, but if you've hung on there and tried to make it happen and work it out long enough and, your best thinking got you here, sometimes the last thing you think of is the best thing to do, and that is just to release. And that's partly what we're going to talk about today. And the other thing that I loved today, I wanted to bring that old song. That was kind of a real old song. Some of you how many of you guys knew it's in every one of us? Okay, quite a few of you guys, okay? And of the ones that knew that song, how many of you have been in religious science or science of mind or unity for a little bit of time? About the same hands, right? So this is one of those older songs, but, for Michael and I, we just love that song. And it's the words, it's in every one of us to be wise, to find our heart, open up both our eyes, and we can all know everything. But here's what the cool part is, without ever knowing why. When I think about that, what we're working with, and we teach in unity churches and in New Thought movement churches all over the world, what we're really working with is the concept of love points the way, and there is a mental spiritual law that makes the way possible. And the analogy that is always so beautifully simple to bring that home was something that Jesus taught through parable, the idea of a seed sown into the soil begets what? A plant. The seed replicates as the exact plant that the seed was the plant in incipiency. That's just the way it works. It's really elegantly simple, not so elegantly easy. But for us, it's all about the idea that we're working with thought. We're always working with thought. And the way we work with thought in ourselves and in our mind and how we perceive things is everything to us. And so sometimes we get really narrowed down because I don't know about the rest of you, but I'll speak for me. When I see a situation and I have now labeled that situation problem, now that problem becomes something to me that represents a lot of what I remember, old and lang syne. It's like revisiting me for old time's sake. Here it comes again, right back around to me. This problem, I remember that problem, right? And I'm sure a lot of the rest of you feel that way. Well, I want to end this year with a beginning. I think it's great. I've listened a little bit back, and I've been listening to your wonderful spiritual leader, Megan. And what Megan has shared with you is right now, this month is the month of rebirth, right? And it's also, she talked about 2025 being the year of endings and 2026 being heralding in the year of beginnings. I'm all on that. How about you? So the question I have for you is, if that's true for you, what is there that is ending for you right now? What is there that is ending right now for you? Because, it's like we create demarcations that are just conscious. There's nothing where you can tangibly look and see where 2025 stops and 2026 starts. I mean, it's a fabricated idea that we all collectively agree to, correct? And then we make up calendars and everything to try to visualize it, but there's nothing tangible that you can touch that shows right where that is. And yet, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to start over because we are the ones who get to choose to be born anew at any time, right? So if you think about that, what we want to kind of play around with in the next day and a half, maybe, is what is ending, as this year is the celebrated year of endings. And then the cool part is, they're both cool parts, but the other cool part about this is what is being born. Because we are about rebirth, right? So what is being born? So I think it's really important to honor the past. I think it's wonderful. I'm in my family of origin, the older I get, the more interested I am in my linealogy and my genealogy and my talking. I have just a couple of living relatives left. My dad was one of 8 kids, and there's none of them left. And one of them was married to my aunt. And so Michael and I are going to go take her to dinner in a couple of weeks here. And what I love doing is really sitting at the feet of my relatives and asking questions to get little pieces of myself back, because I wouldn't know these things unless I kind of interview the people that came before. Because, life leaves clues and you kind of find out a lot about yourself by what's come before you. But I also think it's really imperative that we don't get stuck in the past. There's nothing, there's a saying by Heraclitus that you never stand in the same river twice. So it's always flowing and there's always newness, and we have to learn to be able to, while we honor the past and we pay homage to it, we feel the nostalgia and all that kind of thing. What I was thinking about this week, I told Michael, I said, it's kind of like, what you look back for information, but you look forward for inspiration. And the word information is a very cool word that you might want to look at, because I like hyphenating words. And the word information, information. What we teach in New Thought is our thoughts beget our things. And so what we are thinking about, we are bringing into form, and that's the way the story works. Unity and the whole New Thought movement are all about trying to bring understanding to the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought. Because the more we can understand how to work with the laws, the mental, spiritual laws of life, the more they work for us. It's really kind of a conundrum. To the degree that we are obedient to the law then becomes our servant. Isn't that kind of fun? Ernest Holmes was a founder of religious science, which is another branch of New Thought. And he said, thoughts are more than things. They are the cause of things. Things have an independent existence in themselves, and our work is done in mind, capital M mind, alone. And our entire equipment is thought and a knowledge of the power which it utilizes. So everything is done first in mind before it shows up in form. This is a Unity church, and Unity has a wonderful legacy that goes back way beyond 100 years. And it was founded by Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, and a lot of you guys know them. Myrtle Fillmore had a terminal, double whammy terminal disease. She had malaria and tuberculosis. And then she discovered the power of her mind through metaphysical use. And that was, you've probably heard that infamous statement. She realized, she goes, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit illness. But what was really cool, when I was doing my reading, she made a statement. She said, our bodies, our bodies are the fruits of our minds. Our bodies are the fruits of our minds. And that was 8 words. And Jesus did just as well with his 8 words when he said, it is done unto you as you believe. Those 2 sentences, our bodies are the fruits of our minds, and it is done unto you as you believe, sums up a big chunk of what we study here in New Thought. So easy to understand somewhat, well, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. And, you pass that on to the people. You probably had that experience. Well, Jesus was all about trying to help people understand that he really got what was going on here and how to really use it. And what he did is he taught in parables. And parables are those stories where they have like a kind of a moral. They start off with a challenge, and then there's a resolution, and then you can see, the way the situation rounded. And so we're not about the facts of our life. We are the consciousness that creates the facts of our life. And we get into some unexpected twists along the road in our own lives. And I presume for myself, and I make a supposition for all of you, that every one of us has parable lives going on, parabolic living, if we could just see what it looked like. And it's when we can do parables, when we can see parables, how they work, we can feel them. And it's feeling that gets the healing. So a lot of the work that's done in trying to teach us how to work with the law is all about not just how we think about what we think about, but how we feel about what we think about. Because it is that feeling plus the thought that's going to activate a law that's going to bring things into our lives. So I thought, well, I'll give you a parable I'm dealing with right now. Michael and I have been living through. It's called the parable of the recalled Jeep. This is going to be a parable of how to not do it, and this is going to be a parable about how to do it. Well, this started over a year ago. Back about November of 2024, Michael and I have a lovely Jeep, and it's one of these Jeeps that's hybrid, where it's part electric car and part gas car. It's a big gas guzzler, but we have this electric aspect, which is really cool because we can plug it in. We got a new charging system in our house and the whole thing. We love our Jeep, and all of a sudden, back in November, we got a notice from Jeep saying, we have a safety recall because there's a possibility that a few of the Jeeps spontaneously explode. And we kind of don't want that to happen to yours if it's parked in your garage. So we suggest you park it out nowhere where there's any buildings. And we also tell you, you really can't charge the charging part for your electric part. So you are going to have to run on gas from now on. And oh, by the way, we don't know when the remedy will be coming in town. Well, you guys all kind of had a little bit of what we did. We're going, what? Say what? And so we began to investigate. Sure enough, this is going on. Sure enough, they don't have a remedy for it. Sure enough, we don't know how long it's going to go on. And so in order to actually take action and figure out what in the heck are we going to do, because getting that car away from the garage, and it's, we didn't have a lot of snow last year, but it was just a challenge. We had to figure out what to do. And now began the back and forth with overseas. The recall department happened to be overseas. So we were now on the phone frequently. And anybody ever had to deal with overseas call centers? And one thing I can tell you about overseas time zones is that oftentimes they can't do a darn thing for you, but they sure are sorry it happened. And they invariably, when they get all done telling you they can't do anything for you, they will then ask, and is there anything else we can do for you? So if I can kind of cut to the chase on this, if I can just make this statement, I think a lot of you will understand when I say this. We went there. Do y'all know what it feels like to go there? We went there. We wrote letters. We got busy. We were on the phone. We were upset. We were pretty tied up in this whole thing. It was a lot of detail, a lot of letters back and forth. We're going to do this. They're going to do that. We're going to do that. And it wound up being expensive. We had to go out and rent a car. We had to pay to store our car. We went through all kinds of stuff, and it took a while. We did get mostly reimbursed. It's interesting, reimbursement, when you get half your reimbursement in gift cards that will not be taken at any stores or restaurant you've ever heard of. And it just, this was one of those things kind of went on and on and on. So anyway, bottom line is it got resolved. And we got back in our Jeep. Everything was fine. The recall was fixed. It was an electrical, it was just a software thing. Could have been a battery, but it wasn't. Anyway, so right around the time my hip was being replaced, we got a notice in the mail. It was a notice that said, there's another safety recall on your Jeep. You're going to have to park it away because it could explode. And you don't want that to happen in your garage. And we don't know when it's going to be remedied. And, you can't charge your, and here we go. And now we've got the 12 inches of snow. Of course, we had that this year. Well, we started to go there. And yet there was a lot of things that had transpired over the year. And one of the things that had transpired through the year was we had been really working our spiritual practices. We had really been putting our work in. And we have been really affirming that life is always happening for our highest good. And we had been using a lot of the platitudes that were affirmations as more true knowingness for ourselves and reminding each other. And we began to look at there's a wonderful statement in the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes that says, "To those who can practice perfect inaction, all things are possible." So we began to think, what if we did nothing? And I'd already written the letter. We'd already done some of the legwork. They'd already put up some of the resistance. We could see the black hole just waiting to it. We're just right there, right? And we said, we're just going to trust that things are unfolding as they should. And in the meantime, we put the car out about as far as we could put on the driveway, and then we waited. And it was amazing because a few weeks later, just last week actually, Michael got a hold of them because there was a couple of things we needed fixed on the Jeep, and he discovered they had the remedy. They had it. We could bring the car in. We could get the remedy. Well, we were kind of excited. So we took the car in, but we had a few other things that needed to be fixed that were under warranty while we were there. And they said, no problem. And they gave us a brand new car. Just let us drive away. Had 17 miles when Michael drove it home to us. And so right now, without us having to pay a penny, our Jeep is being fixed. But while it's not, it's also over at their dealership. We have a car at our disposal that's in great shape, makes great gas mileage. And it was all so effortless, with such effortless ease. So we had to really look at some of those, what we got out of that parable. And the parable was, get over it and trust some stuff. We got to be willing to trust. This whole thing is about faith and trust, and building faith in what? And it's about being able to look at a higher place for what we desire to experience, rather than to look backward at the information we already had, which was handy, and see what we should do next in form. So remember, you look back for information, but you look ahead for inspiration. So I want to just end off with a couple of readings. This was brought to my attention by another minister recently. One of the writings in the Bible in Matthew, it follows a setup where Jesus is teaching people on the hill, disciples and others. He's disseminating what he understands. And he is explaining to them in some vernacular that the ideas that he has have come from his source, we will say the Father. And these ideas that he understands have come through him, and now he can do these works. And by the way, those who are willing to do the work of building the faith and the following, these works can be done also. And it reads like this in King James, and I'm sure many of you have heard this. Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Anybody heard this before? Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in my heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. But what one of the ministers had done is she had put that through something called BibleStudySkills.com, where it will give you all these quotes in comparative Bibles. So here's the study Bible, and I just love it. It's almost like an AI Bible, but this is a Bible for probably, I would say, younger thinkers, if you will, and people who don't get caught up in the yoke is the. This is how it translated. Almost sounds like an infomercial. Are you tired? Worn out? Burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take the real rest. I love this. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. Oh, she'll love that and give you God. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Ernest Holmes said, there is a rhythm in the universe which, rightly understood, would resolve all conflict. Jesus never said, I am the Savior of the world. Let me say that again. Jesus never said, I am the Savior of the world. But what he did say is, I am the light of the world. And in the Sermon on the Mount, he also said to all of us, although, we're there in spirit, you are the light of the world. So here in Unity, we're all about taking a spiritual approach to the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought. And it takes imagination and it takes willingness to suspend disbelief. And it takes a willingness to be more curious than dismayed. Because in a world like they're teaching us now, in the world of the quantum, where all there is in the quantum is infinite, limitless waves of possibility, of potentiality, in that realm, uncertainty becomes a value. I find that's pretty exciting. Wayne Dyer says, no one knows enough to be a pessimist. So I'll leave you the little visual, just a little visual here. There's a writer, some of you, if you're writers, may know her book, written by Natalie Goldberg. She was a wonderful writer, and she wrote a great book, and the title is Wild Mind. You'll love that. We all have a wild mind. And she gives us this visual. She says, look up at the sky, and can you see it? It's a big sky, and that big sky is wild mind. Now I'm going to climb up to that sky straight over our heads and put one dot on it with a magic marker. Can you see that dot? Now, that dot is what Zen calls monkey mind. It's the part of us that is, psychologists call it the part of our conscious mind, the thing we are obsessed with. We give it all our attention, that one dot, don't we? We get caught up in looking at that Zen monkey mind dot. And all the while we're staring at that dot, while we're feeling like victims, while we're feeling things won't work out, why we think we got a problem, all that time, right in front of us, is the sky of wild mind. She says, I think our job in life is not to diddle around our whole lives with just looking at that dot, but to take one big step out of it and sink into the big sky and live right from there. So we'll end with the question I led at the beginning. As this 2025 ends, this disturbing, crazy, wild, Nantucket sleigh ride of a year, so what is ending that needs to be let go of? And in your heart, what is being born? And now, make room for it. Happy New Year, and so it is.
All right, well, this is called The Ride of Your Life, and it can be a hybrid, it can be a gas, it can be electric, whatever you want. There are no second chances, no second glances, all we have is now. This ain't no dress rehearsal, No life reversal, we'll get through somehow. Oh, but that's just life, the lows and highs of the ride. And all the miles roll by in the blink of an eye. So drive straight into tomorrow, heart wide open and light. No hesitation, no sorrow. This is the ride of your life. This is our myth, our story, the trouble and the glory. This is all we get. We play the cards we're dealt. It's heaven or it's hell. There's no time for regret. Oh, but that's just life, the lows and highs of the ride. And all the miles roll by in the blink of an eye. So drive straight into tomorrow, heart wide open and light. No hesitation, no sorrow. This is the ride of your life. Pedal to the metal, wind in your hair, juiced up on freedom and without a care. Hands off the wheel, reaching for the stars, out of your head and into your heart. So drive straight into tomorrow, heart wide open and light. No hesitation, no sorrow. This is the ride. Drive straight into tomorrow, heart wide open and light. No hesitation, no sorrow. This is the ride of your life.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Mary Beth. Wow. Okay. Got to make sure I'm on the right page. It's a time for the love offering. This is the time in our service to share your offerings and tithes with Unity Displays. We thank those here in this room today and those who are watching later for your generous support. Because of you, our doors are open and our church's needs are being met, and we are so very grateful. As our ushers come forward, please hold your gift in your hands and recite our offering prayer. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. Yes. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And the ushers, please bring the offering and prayer box forward to be blessed. Mary Beth. We honor and welcome all contributions, time, talent, and treasure. If you have time or a talent to contribute, please let a board member know how you would like to be involved. Thank you for your generous tithes. In addition to the Sunday collection, checks can be mailed to us and donations can be made online at unitydisplays.org. Now, lest I forget, the January newsletter is now available out there in the lobby. Oh, thank you. The lovely pulpit flowers today were donated by Chris Schaefer. She says happy holidays to all. Thank you, Chris. Remember, you too can be a flower angel. Choose your special date and sign up in the lobby. The fee is $35, and the flowers are yours to keep after the service. And the 2026 flower sign-up sheet, they are printed out. Save your specific day, and you can mail in or turn in a check to the office. Okay. Announcements. Our Burning Bowl ceremony is on Wednesday, December 31st at 5 p.m. What a wonderful way to spend New Year's Eve. And as we welcome 2026, our White Stone ceremony will take place on the first Sunday of the month, January 4th, 2026. And you got to remember, when you write a check, that's the year to write. Remember that? Yeah. Okay. And I see Carolyn out there. Okay.
Christmas takeout.
Pardon? Oh, it wasn't here in the script. Oh. Undeck the halls?
Yes.
We're going to undeck the halls next week.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good to know. And we are walking in the light. Walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking
she's going to need hand surgery, but a little super glue will do her. So I just wanted to walk in the light one last time. This is my last official Sunday. Thank you all so much for the wonderful party last week. I feel very loved and appreciated. And what special day is coming up this week that we talked about?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. And we're going to show you what happens in the ball in New York. Hold it up high. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! And we are wishing you all a wonderful, happy New Year. And Miss Edwina told us a New Year's like a do-over, a reset. Like when we're playing a game and we want another chance. Okay, better keep the ball here. So we're getting a reset. We're getting a do-over. We're getting a fresh new year. And many blessings to you all and much love. Now let's dance, sing, and pray.
I'll cover it with the attention is the beginning. This is our real money, time, money, everything. Yeah.
All right, we surround that with divine order, right?
Yes, divine order. It is what it is.
All right, just close your eyes for a second.
Can I inspire you to have a story?
Connect. Just ignore it. You might visualize it as a huge bolt of light.